show you the beach, but I guess they do groups now or something, so it's closed until 12:30 when the next round of people come. So.
All right, I'm here this morning with Taylor.
How are you? Good morning. Or
whatever it is. Yeah, exactly. Whatever you want. So Taylor's gonna show me around. He's a local La Paz man, but he's actually from Calgary, Alberta, man. How is it incredible?
It's amazing.
And it's you can't believe it, but that's the facts right there. It's guaranteed he's from Canada.
All the way. This is basically the fillet of Mexico, in my opinion. Traveled all around, and I'm happy to share it with anyone that comes down here, especially on a motorcycle. And I'm down here for about 7 months. So came down in Mexico in October of last year and decided that I don't want to go back.
Sweet.
It's pretty great.
So I'm following Taylor. He's gonna help me out with some logistics at the port. He's a Calgary boy. Hard to believe, but he strikes up the conversation with me while I was sitting here the other night on the bike and came over. So we decided to hook up. He's going to show me around and he's going to tell me all about this place. He's on a DR650, I think it is, Suzuki, and has decided to give up the Calgary life as an engineer, and he has come out here to start a new career as a realtor. So the bike has been fixed for the coolant leak. At least we think it has. I can't say that I'm 100% confident that the mechanic did anything but take my money and maybe tighten a bolt here or there. I can't say that he's a thief outright because I don't have absolute proof. I just don't have supporting evidence that he wasn't. So when I asked for the bike, you know, there's lots of delays. That's fine. Everything in Mexico is lots of delays. But when I asked to see the parts that he wanted to charge me for, because he charged way more money than it did to replace the whole clutch. So he charged way more money, and I thought, what the heck's going on? To me, this might be, all I wanted to do was see if, you know, like, hey, what needed to get tightened, or was there something major? And he says, oh, you know, yeah, he had to take it, he had to open it up, he had to change out the water pump, and you know, okay, that would justify that kind of price, because you know, you got to open it up, maybe open up that, you might have to open up the oil chamber, so you'd have to change the oil, you'd have to change the oil filter, you would have to, you know, do a lot more work to get to all that kind of, you know, all that kind of effort, and that would justify that kind of time that was used. But I don't think he did it, because when I look down at where the work was done, oh, it looks like it's been wiped clean, but there's still residual coolant on where the gaskets would have been or are, you know, right on where you put the bolts on. So it's almost like, wow, you mean like you cleaned the exterior, but you didn't clean that piece. And if you put he says, oh, he put a new gasket in. Well, if you put a new gasket in, it shouldn't have coolant color on it. So to me, it's more like, oh, what you did was you wiped it, you topped it up, and maybe tightened the bolts around the casing, the housing, or something like that. And now you want to charge me for a full part extraction. You know, and I ask, hey, can you show me the parts? I want to learn. You know, oh, they're at the other shop. So now everything, you know, there's always an excuse, or there's always a reason why there can't be supporting evidence for the work that was done. I mean, if you have this work done anywhere else, bam, if the guy replaces my clutch, you know when he walks up to me? He brings me my old clutch plates and say, look at these are what you had, they're worn out, this is what it was. Okay, you know what, I trust that guy now. Edgar, you did a great job. You know, he did it right. He did it like a mechanic should do it. He should show you the parts and tell you this. This guy, he basically didn't want to show me anything. He didn't want to give me any kind of proof that he did the work. It just, come on, man, I'm in a hurry. Hey, I have to get back to work. You know, I'm a policeman. My boss is only letting me come out for a little bit. There's lots of excuses and lots of reasons, but little supporting evidence that the work was actually done. But what can I do? Here I am, the guy's holding my key. He's a police officer. And, you know, you don't fall into any kind of misbelief that, hey, you know, you can trust the police because they're a police officer. That might be true in Canada, that might not be true, but it definitely is not true necessarily here in Mexico. And I don't know about other parts of the world, but Mexico has its reputation for corruption with the police. And here it is. Here's this guy doing this. Now, again, I don't have proof that he didn't do the work, but he sure did not provide any proof that he did the work. So now I have to keep an eye on this to make sure that, you know, it doesn't leak again. So the lesson is, always ask how much things are going to be before you accept them to do the work. That's a smart thing to do anywhere, but you know, you get lazy like Canada, they call you up and say, hey, this is what it's going to cost, or they send you an email saying this is what it's going to cost, here's the estimate, and you know, they get it within a reasonable amount, and you accept them to do the work. You don't. Got to remember, you're not at home. You got to do things different, and so that's one of the things I got to do. Things to learn. Maybe another thing one could do is stand over them and watch them do the work. So then you say, okay, I saw you do the work. I can trust that. Here you go. I mean, if you got all day to sit around and watch some guy do work on your bike, it's one thing. Now we're heading towards the port and another beach area somewhere around here. Terminal. This is where you'll be leaving from. So we'll go over, this is the Baja Ferries, the Wicket. Okay, and in the morning that's where you got to go, alright? In the morning you're going to queue up way back there. So you'll come a few hours early. Yeah. It's quite a bit earlier than the foot passengers, and you'll queue up probably around 3. And it's a long day because the ferry doesn't leave till about 7. And then you don't disembark until like 10 a.m. You're the last ones off because you have a vehicle. Right. It's not like BC ferries when you just... Yeah, exactly. Hola, buenas tardes. Nada, queremos preguntar sobre los billetes. Ah, ok. ¿Por los boletos? Sí, exacto. Okay. ¿Podemos sentarnos aquí o no? ¿De qué lado? Allá en la esquina. Para que pregunten por los boletos en la oficina allá adentro. ¿Sí? Okay. Just move over there a little bit, I guess. Big difference, right? Yep. Matters to him for some reason. So yeah, you need your registration, yep, insurance, and that's it. I think your credit card, probably your passport. Pretend I'm leaving the country, eh? Yeah. We are denied the chance to buy a ticket because I can't get the import papers, because I don't have an FMM. So when you come into the country, you're supposed to have printed off the government document saying that you want to come in, and then go and get it stamped. But when you enter into Tijuana, there's no buildings, there's nothing to show you that, to do that, and it's the weirdest process ever coming in. So anyways, that's what happened. So now what I have to do I get to go to Cabo San Lucas because there's an airport there where I can go and get my papers, get these FMM papers done, and you can get them reprinted or whatever, and then I can come back and then I can try to buy a ticket for the ferry. You can't buy the ticket for the ferry until you get your importation of your bike and everything, so yeah, a little bit of hoops, and I'm sure there's going to be some associated fees with that. And Taylor's been a great guy. He's coming in with enough Spanish to understand things and to communicate. Yeah, it's awesome. So I'm pretty grateful that Taylor's here to help me out and kind of walk me through the process. I'm sure thousands of people have had this problem. I'm not the only one, but that's where we stand. And now we're just going to go on tour a little bit. He is going to show me, he wants to go fly his drone. Oh, sad feelings of my drone, I tell you right now. Not really. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of coverage he's going to take. And yeah, we're going to do a short hike. I guess it's a 20-minute hike. I guess we're going to Balandra. Ooh, going off-roading for the first time in a while.
Super! How are you guys? Beautiful La Paz, overlooking Balandra, one of the most famous beaches in Mexico here.
Sweet! That's
Yeah.
it! He said it all. Get a nice hike to get a view of the beach, and now we're going to drive down towards the beach.
Show you the beach, but I guess they do groups now or something, so it's closed until 12:30 when the next round of people come.
So I guess the beach is closed. They do it in waves. People are allowed to come in a certain amount, and then they close it off. But we don't know why, they just do. They wouldn't let us even just drive down, just to do a drive around and drive back. So we're off to another beach instead, and we'll see what it's like.
Well, Taylor and I shared some drinks and some laughs, had some discussions about life, and then we needed to part ways as he had his errands to do and I had mine.
Well, when something's good, you do a repeat. And we are doing a repeat. Only this time, we have mushrooms in 2 different flavors and a smoothie. Ooh, liking that.
Taylor had offered to let me use his InReach, but I wanted to not bother the man, so I went out, got my own, and this was to replace the malfunctioning Montana that I had. That's day 3 in La Paz. Unsuccessful at getting the ticket for the ferry because it could not get the temporary import permit for the bike because I didn't have an FMM, which is your tourist visa. Well, in the next episode, guess what we're going to try to get? Hey, if you like this show, give it a big thumbs up. Click the bell so you get notified when the next episode's released. Subscribe makes it easier for you to find the shows. And hey, share it with some friends. It's great sharing things with your friends. Leave a message. I love hearing from you guys, that's for sure. And the call to ride will continue. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.